Hi, this is Helena, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing some of the most common unconscious personas that can keep us from getting the love we want. They can act out and sabotage us, sometimes at the worst possible moment in our love lives, and they really prevent true intimacy because they keep us from being our most authentic selves. So these are so important. Most of us have different combinations or different versions of all of these that can play out really in any area of our life. So it's so important to become aware of some of these things because they're often running under the surface unconsciously. So before I get started, if this is your first time to my channel, click the button to subscribe to get all of my videos on how to attract the man and the relationship you want. So these are some of the most common personas, or you could think of them as archetypes or parts of ourselves that really prevent us from getting that close connected relationship we truly desire. And often they were created in childhood and they serve to protect us and keep us safe earlier in life. But now as adults, they can become maladaptive if they're causing us to, for example, push love away or keep good men at arm's length. So this is so important. And it might sound a little strange, some of them, because they can kind of sound positive or they can come out in ways that seem like it should be a positive thing, but you'll see as I start describing some of these, how they can actually keep that love and that man we want at a distance. So I'll just jump right in. The first one is the people pleaser. This is something that pretty much all the women who were drawn to this work and watch some of my videos here on YouTube can relate to. This was certainly something I had going on for myself, and I still definitely have some people pleasing tendencies. So this looks like anytime you put someone else's needs or feelings or desires ahead of your own, or being so concerned with what everyone else thinks that you're often ignoring how you feel about yourself or if this is the right situation for you. So I'd love to hear from you. Let me know down below in the comment section. Are you a people pleaser? Do you tend to have some of these tendencies? I love hearing from you. I actually recorded a whole video called "Do these 5 things to stop being abandoned and taken for granted in relationships." I'll include a link to that one in the description because that is so important. It'll be so beneficial if you have some of these people-pleasing tendencies or really any of these personas that I'm going to share in the rest of this video. So the next one is the overachiever. And this is one of those that sounds a little strange because we can be rewarded in work or in school or in other areas of our life for being an overachiever, basically. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if we grew up, only receiving love and attention and validation when we were an overachiever, like when we got good grades or when we, were more reasonable, like stuffing down some of our emotions, like when we didn't cry or when we stuffed our anger down and we were rewarded for being perfect or being a good girl. Can anyone relate to that? I know I certainly can. I know so many of us were kind of brought up placing our value and our worth on what we can do and accomplish and give to others. So the idea of someone showing up and just loving us because of who we are deep down can kind of be a foreign concept to so many of us. I know it certainly was for me. And so we think we need to do things and constantly give to a man in order to make him fall in love or in order to ensure that things are going to work out. And that's just completely not true. Probably a topic for a whole nother video. But again, let me know in the comment section, do you tend to be an overachiever? Were you rewarded for being a good girl or being perfect as a child? And now you tend to want to constantly overfunction in relationships as an adult? So important to take a look at that. The next one is the protector. I see this one a lot, and this can play out in all different kinds of ways as well. This could be rejecting any man that tries to get close to you before they reject you. It could be looking for reasons to disqualify a man constantly, even if he's showing up and, being consistent and reliable and dependable. I can relate to this one as well. I can relate to pretty much all of these. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think. This one could also play out as like a detective persona, right? Snooping through your man's phone or email when he's not in the room because it's almost like you're looking for a reason to break up with him and leave, right? Now, of course, you want to have high standards for yourself. You don't want to be with a man who you don't trust, where you feel the need to do that. But catch your tendency to want to just constantly protect yourself. And this could really play out in any situation in dating and relationships. The next one is the controller. This one is another one of those things that could also seem positive, like the giver, right? A lot of women I hear from are giving to get. They're constantly being sweet and understanding and giving to a man. But it's actually a control thing because on some level, they're hoping they're going to get something back in return in terms of his time or affection or even commitment. And so resentment can start to build because they're giving as a way to try to control the situation. And this doesn't always come from a bad place. Sometimes you just fall into being the person who's planning and scheduling and doing everything. And it's like we want to hang on tight and almost like manipulate the way a man sees you or control the situation because we're afraid of what might happen if we let go of that control. So that's a really interesting one. I think as women, or just as humans especially, I think we all can have this controller tendency. It's when we don't trust that things are going to unfold exactly the way they're supposed to and that everything's always working out for us, right? If we were just to like lean back and let go of control for a minute. And that brings me to the last one, and that is the survivor. This one's so important. The survivor will put up with just about anything because they're centered around this fear of losing the man, or they think they can't survive without this other person. So they might even put up with physical or emotional abuse or neglectful behavior, or just a man who's not treating you right and doing what he's supposed to do in the relationship. If you have some survivor tendencies, you may just put up with terrible treatment or hang on to a man because you're afraid you'll lose him if you don't accept the crumbs he's giving you or accept whatever he's doing. So important to make sure that you're not tolerating bad treatment or anything that doesn't feel good to you. So let me recap those 5. I'm reading off my notes here. I got some feedback in the last video I posted where you guys said that you like just these unedited videos where I'm reading off my notes and just talking all the way through. So thank you so much for your feedback on that. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. So the first one is the people pleaser. The second one is the overachiever. The next one is the protector. We also have the controller and the survivor. So go check out that video. I'll include a link to it. Just click the little upside down arrow next to the title of this video. The video that you should watch if you have any of these going on, again, is called Stop Doing These 5 Things to Never Be Disappointed or Taken for Granted Ever Again. I share a super powerful in-depth exercise in that video to help you heal and go in and connect with some of these parts of yourself so they don't act out and sabotage you in relationships or really in any area. And also, this just occurred to me right now, if you can really relate to the last 3, that would be the protector, the controller, or the survivor. I wrote an article years ago on my website about these 3 unconscious personas that keep us from getting the love we want. It's really in depth. I'll include a link to that too. So everything's just in the description right below this video. And just keep in mind that these personas are full of strategy. They're just always wrapping their mind around an agenda or what they have to do in order to survive. And this is usually unconscious. We have no idea that this is going on, but it's happening under the surface. So it's just important to become aware of some of these things. So go check out that article and that other video. Everything's in the description right below this video. I'll also include my 3 keys to attract the man you want. That's a free report and audio training, totally free, on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I always love hearing from you. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.